Hello and namaste, everyone. Welcome back to Everything and Everything. This is your host, Adi here, and today we have another special guest, Miss Shraddha Kimire here. So, Shraddha, today we are here to talk about something that's been existing in all societies since very long, focusing on gender specific roles. Do you think gender specific roles are still prevalent even in the 21st century?
Yeah, I do think gender specific roles are still existing and they're very much prominent even in the 21st century.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up and being raised in the global south, in
Yeah.
particular the South Asian region where both of us are from, I thought it was only existing or maybe for the lack of word confined in our society. But being here in Germany since the past 2 years, studying and even working, both of us,
Yeah.
we have so many friends and so many colleagues, and whenever we sit down to have a talk with them about
Yeah.
such sensitive topics, we get to know that no matter the race, the religion, the society, the background, nationality, like these kind of gender specific roles are existing and
Yeah.
prevalent and prominent in almost all the societies, be it global south, global north, the developed, the underdeveloped,
Yeah.
western, eastern, everywhere.
Yeah, that was quite shocking to me when I first arrived here and we were talking with our friends that it also exists here because
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, oh, this is Germany. It's like a modern world. It does not exist here. It was a shock.
Yeah.
Having said that, how do you think these kind of roles comes in one's life?
I don't know. I don't think so anyone knows.
Yeah.
I don't think so anyone has one concrete or one
Yeah.
answer for this. And I think everyone kind of questions it when they come up of age. They might be looking at circumstances, they might be
Hmm.
looking at roles and responsibilities around them and wondering, why am I performing it?
Yeah.
But I guess for me, it's they're very much picturized and prevalent even in history that men of the households were the one who were going outside and
Yeah.
hunting and gathering food and supplies and all the kind of essentials that are needed by the families back home, whereas the female of that family was staying behind, taking care of the kids, the cattle, doing all kind of household chores. So I think that is where it originated, like even in history, like from the caveman
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Talking about today, I think household and families are the first school for kids when they grow up, and whatever they see and learn is what they grow into.
Hmm.
And when they see that their father or the male members of the household are going outside, working in office, being the breadwinners or the financial pillars of the house, they anticipate themselves to be them one day if they are boys. Whereas for the mothers of the family, of course, it is changing nowadays. Partners are equal; they are equally educated. They are both of them are working. But even for one generation behind, the mothers were the ones who were staying back, sacrificing on their career and taking care of kids, doing the household chores. And the daughters of the family, when they see the mothers taking upon such roles and responsibilities and filling those kind of shoes, they anticipate them also to perform those responsibilities and functions. And that is how children's mind are shaped and what they believe the values and morals to be. And maybe that is what also they anticipate from their partners when they grow up and have relationships, homes, kids of their own.
Do you think these kind of roles, as you mentioned,
Yeah,
man has a certain role, female has a certain role? Do you think these kind of roles are also very much significant if you talk about marriage or a household setting?
absolutely. Absolutely. But I really want to start speaking on this first by saying it's very subjective.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
differs from people to people. Essentially, it differs from households to households. It does differ because, for instance, in South Asia, in Nepal, in India, like
yeah,
all
yeah.
of the countries, there are two main concepts of marriage. One is
Yes.
love marriage, and another one is arranged marriage. And I believe, and I have seen amongst my friends, family, cousins, colleagues, that in love marriage, it is more easier for the partners to talk about
Yes.
the functions and responsibilities that the society wants them to perform or the family wants them to perform, and they can easily have conversations about how such kind of beliefs and values are outdated. And I believe in arranged marriage it is much more rigid and not flexible
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of opinions, a lot of family members who anticipate you to perform those kind of functions specifically, and it's hard to fight and
Yeah.
bring about changes in their beliefs, their value system, and their behaviors. So, of course, it's subjective again. I have
Yes.
seen many arranged marriages where maybe these kind of functions and responsibilities are diminishing nowadays. It's not as distinct and as rigid as before. And then again, I see some certain love marriages where it's so prominent, like the girl is staying behind and doing all kind of household chores when the man can come back home anytime and he
Yeah.
just goes and work. But again, it varies. It's different from people to people and families and families. It all depends on how they perceive such functions to be and how conversations around such functions flourish in the
Yeah.
relationship.
So I also believe not just in household settings or marriage settings, these kind of rules also shift towards our work life.
Yeah.
How have you experienced such kind of incidents in your
Oh,
personal work
so
life?
much,
Yeah.
so much. Firstly, I love my work.
Yeah.
I absolutely love working. I still love working.
You're a workaholic.
Yeah, I am. I would rather work than study. No, but I think it. I don't think it's very evident. It's very
Yeah.
visible.
Yes.
In particular, in workplaces, I want to bring up this topic about how most of the receptionists
Yeah.
all across the globe are females.
Yes.
So that is like a very small thing, but it has a big
Yeah.
story or background because that's how the workspace or the work life perceives women to be. We are supposed to be like this trophy kind of
Yes.
individual who's there smiling, beautiful, gorgeous all the time. She's the one who's supposed to bring forward the image of the business or the office, and hence she's the first person of contact when you walk into the office. But coming back to my experiences in my work life, yes, I did face a lot of maybe setbacks
Mm-hmm.
or maybe I don't know how to say this, but unfulfilled promises.
Mm-hmm.
Because my work involved a lot of field surveys and data collection. And when the period came for maybe like the supervisor or the head boss to choose who goes for such kind of outings, it was always the male members who were preferred. Of course, I had the opportunity to go.
Mm-hmm.
They did give me the chance to go outside and work in the fields, collect data, do the surveys, do the interviews. But at the back of their mind, they always prefer the male colleagues because I don't know, they thought it was easier to communicate with them. They could call them anytime. It's not okay to call them anytime though, but they always thought that men were stronger, more capable physically, more capable mentally, more capable emotionally, and they would just do the work better. And that is where I felt the biggest setback because I know for a fact that I can also function those roles and responsibilities with the same diligence.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that I saw in my workspace.
Mm-hmm.
But I have heard numerous cases where, like promotions
Yeah.
and transferring and opportunities just being shut because you
Yes.
are a female and you are perceived to be too emotional or too friendly or too overly involved and maybe deemed as someone who is not capable enough to take those
Yes, very
responsibilities.
true.
Yeah.
That's very true. For me also, I've had similar experience in my work life. So first of all, yes, we females do go through our periods. It is difficult for us to go to field work during our periods. Very true. But it is always about the efficient way you work in. It's about efficiency and quality rather than how much you're sitting there pretending that you are working. Yeah, because we are all colleagues.
Yeah.
We know other colleagues' strength and weakness. We know how they work and how much effort they put in. We know how they bring about any sort of work.
Yeah.
And in my previous work, what used to happen was, yes, as you said, male used to be preferred when it comes to a lot of things. And mind you, when you go for a field work, you also get a little bit of extra money.
Yeah.
And when females are not given that opportunity, we don't earn much. And then comes another thing is about, first of all, starts from hiring.
Yeah.
So while hiring itself, it's always looked at that, a male is brought into a specific role.
Yeah.
Whereas even a female can perform that same role as equally good as a male could, but still a male is preferred basically. And fine, hiring is something that's been done since way long. Then comes the salary.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you look at a salary, what happened was I being a person who's working at a certain post and my colleague also being there and working at a certain post have differences in our salary. So pay parity. And I found out later on that he was getting paid way more than I was for the same amount of work that we both did. And that's not fair because I know how that person works. I know how that person really works. I know how much effort they put on.
Yeah.
And that used to piss me off. Because, yes, okay, if the guy is equally capable of doing the work that I do, 100%, give him as much as I, give him more. Okay, if he deserves, give him more. I'm not asking for what's yours, give it to me. I'm not asking that. But when I am here and equally performing as good as him, I cannot see that he gets paid more and I get paid less.
Yeah.
So that is where gender specific roles come into work. Starting from the hiring, till the salary, till the roles that they assign to us. And the sad thing is when the HR itself is a female, which in most cases HR are females, then she is also facing the same thing. And when we go and talk about this or complain,
she's seeking for help as much as we are.
As much as we are. And we just used to talk about these things and how people take us for certain things. They used to gather all the ladies and take us for certain things, which were not really our roles. And we just used to look at one another because we know this is not our role and we're just here as a trophy.
Yeah.
So these kind of roles, why not take men? There will also be a lot of females there.
They don't look like trophies.
Yeah.
To begin with.
maybe, yeah.
I'm so sorry, man. I mean, come on.
maybe, yeah. But still, these roles exist from the ground level, starting from hiring itself. And it was so brutal that we girls, we used to sit together and we used to talk about these things. But whom to go and complain when the person we're supposed to complain is also having the same problems?
No, it's true. It's a very sad reality that we see because we are educated the same. We are given the same opportunities. We are given the same values at times. And when we are thrusted into the world of professional, like corporate
Professional
sector,
life,
professional life, we see the disparity, and it's very distinct and very vivid.
Yeah, and it really demotivates and disheartens you as well.
Yeah,
to be honest, yeah.
It does not encourage us.
No, it really does not. And you get very frustrated after a point. It really frustrates you because the thing is, like, I know this person and how he works and how he tries to escape from work every time, every chance he gets. And I'm here sitting, working so hard and getting paid less. And he's there, doing something else and having fun and getting paid more.
It's just a male privilege.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. So these kind of things really piss me off. And I hope that, I really hope actually that these things would not be here in Europe. This thing in Germany. I really hope that these things would not be there. But as far as I have heard, really, as far as I have heard, it's also here.
This is a shocker for me.
Yeah.
Of course, I know that they prefer people with maybe more degrees or people who can speak the language, but specifically preferring male over female. This is a shocker for me.
It is. It exists in a lot of places, and because I go to some programs and I hear about, we have like women's tea, and then we sit in women's tea and we talk about this stuff, and then they tell, like, a lot of women argue about these things that I cannot tell their story, but like I know that it exists. And that was like, first time when I heard it, I was like, it's here,
it's here like, too.
Yeah. And she was like, it's everywhere, honey. So I was like, I know, and it's really disheartening.
Maybe Antarctica, because there's no one there.
Maybe
offices of our own.
Yeah, but not just household setting and workspace. I also see this, I think everywhere. But do you think it's gradually changing when it comes to marriage?
I mean, it's a very hard thing to talk about because change does not happen overnight.
Yeah.
And these kind of things have been imprinted in our minds, in
Yes.
minds of the generation before us. It's very hard to bring about behavioral changes in individuals. It's very easy to do that with animals. Like
Yeah.
you train
It's
them,
true.
they're trained.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
would not do certain things. But again, I'm not comparing humans with animals.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is it's very difficult to bring about changes in
Yeah.
behaviors, beliefs, and values of individuals.
Yeah.
Unless and until an individual is willing to let go of those outdated beliefs, firstly, that individual has to accept that it is outdated.
Mhm.
And for that, that individual needs a lot of knowledge,
Yes.
a lot of awareness. When he or she accepts that it is outdated, it becomes easier for them to let go of those beliefs. And I'm talking about one individual. We
Yeah.
need to make sure that this happens with maybe 1,000,000 individuals, billion, that is the
Yeah. Yeah.
population of the world.
Mm.
So it's very hard, but it's not undoable.
Yeah.
I have seen very many happy families, be it arranged families, like those who come from arranged marriage, and also love marriages. It all depends on individuals,
Yes.
how aware they are, and how willing they are to let go of these outdated beliefs.
Yeah, I think also I've seen a lot of my friends, my guy friends, they are our age, and
Yeah.
when I look at them, they do have a certain mindset that okay, बुढीले खाना पकाइहाल्छ नि, like, so the wife will cook for me.
Okay.
They do have that,
Yeah.
and when I have another group of friends where they're like, oh no, I have to rush back home
Yeah.
soon because I need to cook food. So it really depends on how you are brought up. I really believe that. Okay, it really believes on what kind of things your mother and your father has taught you, and how you're brought up. Because when I come here and see in Germany, I've seen a lot of couples here. German has a thing where when you go out on dates, you pay for yourself and the guy pays for himself.
Yes, getrennt bitte.
Yeah, so I really like that actually. I would
was so
prefer
shocked.
that as well. Yeah,
I was so shocked when I came here, not on dates, just when I went out with my friends, because we had a lot of freshers and a lot of
Yes.
events in orientation. And the waiter came up after we all had our meals and drinks and everything, and she just said, zusammen oder getrennt? That
yeah.
is all together or separate. And I was shocked because back home in Nepal, we fight to pay.
Yeah,
We're like, no, like I'll pay.
let's
I'll
play.
pay.
Yeah,
I'll pay.
yeah.
So this culture of making separate payments, it's really good.
Yes.
Of course you can pay for your friends, of course you can pay together if you are a couple, but the fact that you're independent enough to pay for yourself, I think it's really good.
Yeah. Do you think like income should matter in separating household gender specific roles?
Not really, no. Not really. But I have a good answer for this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do not think income should be an indicator
Mm-hmm.
to allocate responsibilities between two partners, in a way that it should not allow partners to escape.
Yeah.
For instance, yeah, there might be a couple where the I'm going to say mother is staying behind and taking care of the children, and the father's whole responsibility is ensuring that there is income coming into the household. But that does not allow him to escape from the father responsibilities, which is coming back home, interacting with the kids, ensuring that he is a part of their growing years and those kind of stuff. So he should not be escaping from it. Of course, if he's the only one who is going outside and earning, the mother should also understand that maybe there are going to be days where he is tired, and he just wants to come back home and relax. But that does not allow him to escape, and also not recognize the fact that the mother is doing equal labor back home.
Yes.
She is a part of the unpaid labor.
Yeah.
That we term in economics. So he
Yeah.
should also acknowledge and respect the fact that she has sacrificed her career because she's also educated. She also wants to go outside and work, but she's staying behind because of her motherly instinct. So he should acknowledge and respect the fact, and she should also acknowledge and respect the fact that he has been outside for so many hours and he's ensuring that there is economic stability in the house. But like income as a whole indicator, I don't believe so. It should be allocating responsibilities.
I completely agree with you, but having said that, I have also seen lots of family members where this thing does not exist, and there are only few people where income is not a main thing for gender specifying roles in the household. I have also people in my household, in my family, where even though the girl earns a lot or the guy earns a lot, the responsibilities are divided equally.
Okay.
But at the same time, same person from the same household or brothers and sisters, they have completely separate thing going on. Though both the couples go and earn money, they both come back home. The mom is always expected to come back early, cook for the family, cook for the children. Even though, because we're Nepalese and we do live with our parents, even though the grandpa and grandma stay at the house, they don't seem to help out. Always the wife has to come back home, the Buhari has to come back home and cook food for even his parents, basically. So yes, it is true that income should not matter, but I've seen so many of the families having specified roles, and even though 21st century, still not changing.
I think it will be a shocker for a Nepalese family if the wife goes up to the husband and says, "Hey, I'm earning more, so you quit your job or maybe do less hours and take care of the kids."
That's true.
The husband's parents will go crazy.
Yeah,
they'll be like,
"What's
going on?"
Yeah. So this is the thing. Now it comes. I feel like it comes all in a circle.
Yeah.
It just starting from work itself. First of all, gender disparity there.
Yeah.
Specific roles assigned, yes. And then you go back to the household, again, the same specific roles assigned. There might be, I have not personally seen a case where the female earns more and the male earns less. And then, the male sits back home, and then I have seen one actually. And the male sits back home and then works, but that's again, most cases, the males are earning more. Why? Because of the office hiring thing, how there's gender disparity, how there's pay parity there. So it's just, I feel like it goes all around in a circle. Yeah, it's a cycle basically. So it's sad to see that, but I've also seen couples here in Germany. I love the fact that guys are so understanding here.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I've really seen guys who are very understanding here. And the fact that you pay for yourself and the girl pays for herself, because a guy should not also be burdened by the specific roles that is assigned.
Yeah.
And what happens when you equally pay, is that he is also not constrained because of how much he earns, and she's also not. So we don't have that in Nepal, because even the guys, because of specific roles assigned, even they are very much, saddened, and they'd have a very heavy life.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of friends who, sadly, they do not get to live their 20, 22, 23 like I lived, because they're so much into earning more, making a career. Why? Again, because of gender specific rules assigned that males should be earning more than the females, and when it comes to marriage as well, no family is willing to give their daughters in a place where the males earn less than her daughter,
or even less educated
than her daughter. Why? Again, because of the gender specific roles assigned. So it's not just fair to women, but also it's not fair to men in a lot of ways as well.
Of course. I mean, we cannot not talk about the fact that gender specific roles also hampers men.
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge the fact that men are also constrained by these kind of roles, and they are heavily pressured to outperform their female counterparts, which they should not. They have the right to not outperform them, perform equally, or not perform at all.
Yeah.
So we have to acknowledge the fact that men are also heavily hampered by these kind of gender specific roles, and they are trying their best. They're trying their best to ensure that their family has a certain sense of security in terms of finance or material or everything, because like you just mentioned, it's super hard back home for a guy to get married or settle down if he doesn't have certain level of income, if he hasn't reached a certain threshold. It's really hard, and if he does not, he might just not be married for a really, really long period of time.
It's very true. And then I see guys out here, they're really into living life. They're really happy. Even when when I see a couple, they're very happy. Why? Because both of them are having same amount of constraints in their income. So I love the way that people live life here, because they are not so much work. It's not like that here in Europe. Back home, it's always about work. Why? Again, because the guy has to be nice. The guy has to be better. So these are the things that I see different in Nepal and in Europe, and it kind of saddens me that not just us, even they are suffering.
Of course.
In many cases, it's not fair when you
Mhm.
when you talk about pay parity. Yes, I would raise my voice against that, and I'm like, that is wrong,
Yeah,
because I personally have experienced it myself. But when it comes to specified roles, it also equally affects males.
it does.
It
Of course, it
does.
does. We cannot, speak about the
I
other
know.
side of
I
the
my
coin. Yeah.
friends, they're going bald now.
Oh, that's so sad.
Really, and they're so stressed.
That's going to reduce their options for marriage as well. Please tell them not to
I
not to
know,
be so
because they're
stressed.
so stressed
Yeah.
about working and making something of their own.
Yeah.
They're very much stressed, and they're very young.
Yeah.
Still, they are already having hairline that's falling afar, and they're so worried about that. And I do feel sorry. And they also tell me, it's because it's very easy for girls. That's what they tell me. You have an option of getting married. Yes, when they say that,
No, it's always easy for men to say it's easier for
yeah, girls,
females, and for females to say it's easier
easier
for
for men.
men.
But when you step on their shoes and think about it, yes, they don't have that option. But the thing is, we don't want that option.
We don't.
We don't. That's the problem.
We want to work.
We
explore.
That's the thing. We are fighting so that we don't have that option.
Yeah.
Pretty sad, and I genuinely encourage every one of you to live your life. And these specific roles are going to be there for a very long time, and hope that we do not do that. Because here in Germany, as far as I've seen couples, they're very much dividing their roles. There's nothing called gender specific roles in the couples I know here in Germany. Okay, but for that also, I can give you a suggestion that because I know in lots of household, income plays a big role in assigning roles. When you have an income, male and female both in the household, then you can always do have a certain same percentage of income for saving, same percentage of income just separate for your household chores and duties and your groceries. Separate them equally, so that it constrains your income the same level. And it does not feel like you're living off someone, or it does not feel like you're dependent on someone. So that's something that even I would follow if I ever get married.
Yeah, I think at the end, I would really urge everyone, especially the youth, to firstly be aware of such kind of gender specific roles and study about them, know what it actually is.
Do not neglect them.
But try to maybe minimize them, or try to maybe not adjust them or accommodate them in your life. And also try to spread the same level of awareness in your families, amongst your friends, your colleagues, because every single voice matters and every single opinion matters. So if you as an individual strive to work against it, then you might form a group which strives to be against it, or maybe fight against it. And that's just how, I guess, every single revolution works.
Yeah.
And that's how you bring change.
Thank you, Shraddha, for such kind words. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and tune in for our next episode where we talk about life here as an international student in Germany. Ciao.
Bye.